Good afternoon, welcome back. This is Simon and Tim. If you haven't met me before, I'm a nurse from Southeast England. In today's video, I'm going to talk about statement writing. What happens if you need to write a statement? When do you have to write a statement? As a nurse, what is your role in writing a statement? And is it very serious? Do you need to do you need to get worried if you are asked to write a statement? This is all we are going to talk about in this video. Please stay tuned. Watch the video till the end. If you haven't met me before, I make content on immigration in the UK, on if you're a nurse, how you can move to the UK, how you can pursue your career here in the UK, and what are the pros and cons in being a nurse here in the UK if you want to get a house, all each and everything about me here as a nurse. So if you are interested in any of these topics, please stay tuned, press the subscribe button, and keep watching. Let's dive into the video without any further delay. Yes, so as a nurse, it is your responsibility to document whatever you do. If you have done observations for anybody, if you have recorded the vital signs for anybody, it's your responsibility to write it down. In medical, we say if you don't document it, you didn't do it, right? So documentation is very, very important. If you have done a skin check, you need to document it. If you have just emptied a catheter, you need to document it. A catheter bag, you just need to document it. If you have given water to somebody, you need to document it. Yeah, so documentation in the medical field is very, very important. As a nurse or as a healthcare support worker or as a doctor, it is your responsibility to do the documentation. So if you don't do the documentation, it's not done, it's not being done. All right, so what happens, what I'm talking about, why I'm talking about the statement is, as senior nurses, we need to ensure that documentation is done for all the patients, for all the tasks that you have carried out. You make sure that you do documentation, right? So what happens if something goes wrong? Unfortunately, if something goes wrong, at the end of the day, if something goes in the court, if you have to present something, if some family member, or if, for example, if someone passed away or someone had a fall with a harm, so they go to the court and they want to claim some money from the NHS, or they want to just they just want to raise a case over the NHS or on the doctors or on the nurses, and you have not done your part by documenting if you have done the turns for anybody, if it's related to pressure ulcer, if you turned them, if you did the regular 2 hourly turns and you didn't document, means you didn't do it and you did not pay your role well, you didn't play your role well because you didn't document it. So yes, so it depends on the circumstances. For example, if someone had a fall, they fell and they died because of the serious injury or because of the head injury, they died. So now the family wants to go into the court, they want to raise a case against the nurses or against the doctors. So for that fall, what were the precautionary measures you took? What did you do to prevent the falls? So if you didn't document it, the case will go against you. And as team of the nurses, as team of the doctors, you are part of that case. Okay, so when the investigation happens, if you were on duty, the court or your department from the NHS, they will ask you to write a statement. What the statement means is writing something that has happened in your particular shift. For example, if a fall happens in my shift, I need to document it. I need to write it down, what was happening, why the fall happened, what I was doing, and what were the contributing factors to that fall, right? So that's about the fall. If it's pressure ulcer related injury and the family wants to go to the court about it, the why the pressure ulcers happened. So pressure ulcers can happen to anybody, at any age. So but negligence is part of it. If we don't do the regular turning, if we don't do the skin checks, if patients been lying on one side for hours, for 6 hours or 8 hours, they can lead to pressure ulcers. So it is our part to document it. If we didn't if we didn't do the turns, why we didn't do the turns, what happened, or patient refused to have the turns, or so whatever the reason was, the terms were not followed, you need to document it. So all I'm saying is statement writing is very important as your documentation writing, right? So when you are asked to write a statement, you must have to write it. Okay, for example, your manager or your band six says, okay, Saima, this fall happens in your duty, can you write a statement for me? Or patient went home without the medications, you were on duty, can you write a statement for me? So me as a nurse, I will be the one writing the statement. So in statement writing, what happens is you tell the reader that what happened, why this patient had a fall, and what were the contributing factors. There was we were short of staff, or there was no the patient was wandering, or there was no one there was no one there to look after that person. Okay, so you give them all this information in writing. Okay, you write the date and time. You also mention that what happens, what I was doing, and why I was not there present with the patient, and why there was no one present with the patient as well. So you write each and everything in detail. When you are asked to write a statement, you need to give depth answers. You need to give it you need to write each and everything in detail. If it's a major incident that you have to present to coroner's court, that you need to present to coroner court, should be official, and it should be written in appropriate way. Okay, you most of the times in the NHS you have a team, a governance team, or the statement writing team. Someone will come from them to officially from the team to tell you to write a statement, and they will verify the statement for you. They will check it for you. If you write observations were done, or observations were within normal range, there is a particular way that you follow, that you need to follow in order to write a statement. You can't just say observation were done and they were in the normal range. No, you have to document, I've taken the observation of that patient, the blood pressure was 120/80, or pulse was this and that, I have recorded it in vital pack. So they might not know what is vital pack, so you need to tell them, I've recorded it in a vital pack. Vital pack is a device where we record the observations of the patients, where we record the blood pressure, temperature, pulse, and everything in a electronic way, right? So in simple terms, you write a statement. You write a statement in a way that a layman person can understand. They are not medical. You don't need to use the medical jargons in that. You don't need to use the observation. You don't need to use the abbreviations in a statement writing. Okay, so yes, so statement writing is something official. If your manager asks you to do a statement writing, you need to write it in appropriate way. Write in a appropriate way, and you also need to mention whatever the contributing factors were. Okay, so in terms of terms, if a patient got pressure ulcer, the family is in a family raised a concern to coroner's court, they want to file a case against the hospital. So then it comes to the nurse. They will check the documentation, they'll investigate, they will check the documentation, what time the turns were done, after the 2 hours where the turns were done, if they were not done, why they were not done. Okay, so each and everything, in all sense, we just need to document whatever we do. I know NHS can be very busy. We don't get time to write the document. We don't get the time to write each and everything, but please try as much as you can, because at the end of the day, your documentation is everything. If you don't document, you didn't do it. All right, guys, it's a humble request for your safety. Okay, and also, if you document it, no, the documentation will not go against you. They will always be in your favor. Okay, if you see a patient going home and they have the capacity to go home, they are not under dolls or anything, so you were the nurse looking after that person, you can document it. Okay, I tried to explain, I reassure the patient, I tried to tell the patient that there is a medical need for them to stay in the hospital, but still they wanted to go. Since they have the capacity, I can't stop them. So you need to document it. Okay, in the real world, as a nurses, we won't let the patients go unless they have a valid reason, or unless they want to just go. If they have the capacity to go, we will let them go. But if they are under dolls, we need to reorientate them. We need to tell them that there is a medical need for them to stay in the hospital. If they go to the hospital, I may have to call the security for them, because you are under dolls, I can't let you go. So there are different circumstances in each and everything. All right, guys, in each and every case, and each and every case of each patient is different. So you need to handle it in a different way, right? Moral of the story today is the statement writing and the documentation is very important. Okay, so statement writing, when you are asked to go to the court, you go there, you go to the court, but before entering into the court, you write your statement, you write your notes, you go through the patient notes, medical notes, each and everything. Maybe you have to go back to many admissions if the patient is frail, or coming back to the hospital various times with the different problems. You may have to go through each and every admission and check what happened, how it happened, what am I going to write, because statement writing can be very, very difficult, guys. Even in normal circumstances, if your manager or your band 6 is asked you to write a statement, it can be a difficult task, it can be a daunting task, it can be troublesome for some people, thinking about the situation and concentrating. Oh, what happened, where was I, what happened, why did that patient fall, where was the support worker, was the bed rails important for that patient, was the patient wearing anti-slippery non-slippery socks. So these are the things you need to think about and make sure you document those in your statement writing. So statement writing can be something from non-official to official. So if you are writing only for your department, it's okay, you don't need to worry too much. But if you are writing for the court, you need to make sure that you do it in a right way, and you write it all the bits that you think are needed, okay, and required or essential. So you can also speak to your manager, you can speak to your seniors if you're not sure about how to write the statement. If you're not sure, you can speak to your manager, your band sixes, they can tell you how to write it. And also you can get some help from your NHS statement writing team. All right, guys, so as nurses, I can't put more focus on it, that documentation is important, it's very, very important. Okay, so I remember something happened very recently, that one of the patient was gone home without the medication. So all of my documentation was done, so I was not worried that much. And what if there was no documentation from my end? It can lead to a trouble, it can lead to a problem for me. So yes, so documentation is important for you guys. As so let me tell you what happens if you go to a court. If your hospital or your seniors, they ask you to write a statement, okay, the family of the patients will be there. For example, someone died, they had a fall, someone died with the head injury, the family is there claiming they raised a case against NHS. Family will be there, the lawyers will be there, the judge will be there, and you will be there in the coroner's court. Okay, you need to tell, you will be speaking your statement. Okay, whatever you have written, you will be telling the team, you will be telling the lawyers, to the judge, and to the family of the patient. So at that time, the patient's family, they can ask you questions also. They can say, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, why you didn't do that? So because it can be, it's the fault of the, if there is a fault, it'll be fault of the whole team, but you are there as a representative, you will be there only to answer it. Okay, if you are the team leader, or if you are a manager, or if you are a band 6, and you are presenting there on behalf of the team, or you are the one, for example, your manager is not there and you are one of the band 6s and you have to go there, so you will be there to answer them. It can be quite distressing, it can be very troublesome, it can be daunting, and it can be also like in front of the patient's family, you are answering them in front of the lawyers, in front of the judges. So it can be very difficult, guys. That's why I'm putting as much as focus on the statement writing, on the documentation, because At the end of the day, you are a nurse and you handle with people's life, you deal with people's life, you give them medications, you give them our job is a risky job, isn't it? We are human being as well, so there's a human factor as well. Okay, so don't think that nobody can mistake. Any one of us can make mistakes, okay, and anything can go wrong. So we just need to be present mentally and physically whenever we are dealing when we are dealing with anybody, isn't it? If we are in front of the patient, we should be mentally and physically present with open mind, and we need to listen attentively whatever the patient is telling you. Okay, if patient is telling you that they've been abused at home, or they've been someone is stealing their money, or someone is trying to get into their property without their permission, you cannot ignore that thing. Okay, you as a nurse, it's your responsibility to write it down in the notes. The patient at this time said this. Okay, you can also raise a safeguarding concern against it. If they were entering the house without patient's permission, you just need to document it, right? So yes, being a nurse is a very difficult job, guys. Okay, so you make sure you do your bit, and everything will go well with you. All right, your part, your documentation, your part, and your part of being mentally and physically present is very important. I hope you learned something from this video. We had a lecture recently about statement writing, so I was a bit shocked when I was hearing that our instructor telling us about the statement writing, and you need to go to coroner's court, you need to present yourself, you need to speak about your statement writing, whatever you have written, you need to tell those things in front of the family of the patient, in front of the judges, in front of the lawyers, and one member of your team as well from the hospital. So I was thinking like very deep about it. I was like, oh my goodness, we never think, we never go that far, isn't it? We never go that far. Yes, so yes, if you're a band 5, band 6, band 7, or even our senior matrons, or a healthcare support worker, guys, make sure whatever you do, if you've spoken to somebody, if you have spoken to next of kin, they highlighted some concerns, make sure you document it. Yes, so documentation is very important. All right, I'll see you soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye. I tried to explain as much as I could, but if I made a mistake or something, just let me know in the comment section. Take care. Bye bye. God bless you all.